Hi, it's Bowman here. Welcome to another lesson in my series of funk faves. This time we're going to be looking at funky stuff. Let's have a little listen. This is a great riff and dates back to 1973 when it was originally released, so it's almost as old as I am. It's a very short riff, only a couple of bars repeated, so this will be a short video. However, it is not that easy to play. There's quite a few different chord shapes and rhythm patterns going on in here, which we'll go through in more detail. But it's a great riff just to pull out and impress your friends with. It's really funky. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. As always, there are links below to my Facebook and Instagram pages. It's great to have you follow me on there too. There's also a link to a donations page. And get yourself a copy of the PDF transcription. I've also put a link down below to the backing track which I made. I couldn't find a backing track for this song, so I kind of made my own little one. So feel free to take a copy of that and play along with it yourself. Okay, let's zoom in and we'll get started with the lesson. Okay then, funky stuff. If you actually listen to the original album by Kool and the Gang, there's a reprise of this song called More Funky Stuff, which is kind of like a shortened version, but that actually begins with this riff on its own. It's probably the best place to hear it. In the actual song Funky Stuff, it's hidden quite a bit by everything else that's going on. But if you ever listen to More Funky Stuff, you can hear this riff on its own, and it's really cool. It is only 2 bars, so it's not going to take us very long. It's all set kind of in the key V, and the bass is pretty much playing around on an E. The riff is using a few different chord variations over the top of that, and it sounds really good. We start off, so it's an inversion of an E dominant 7 chord. It's an inversion we don't use that often. Top 3 strings, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, and then you can also add the 6th fret and the D string to give it that major sound. So you've basically got the dominant 7th, the root and the 5th, and then the major 3rd down in the bottom here. Listening to the original recording, sometimes he's hitting that D string, sometimes he's not. And what we're doing, moving it down a semitone and then back up. So rhythm wise, 1 and 2. So they are clipped 16th notes, keep it nice and muted as always with the funk stuff. But the rest's in between each one, so no scratches. And then we add a couple of scratches and hit it again. So first 2 beats of the first bar. So hitting it again on that upstroke. Like that. It's a chord shape we're not very used to, but it is a cool sounding one. Over the E. Sounds good. And then we're going to move to this shape here, which I'm calling an E minor 11. You could call it a G with a 9th or a sus2, but I'm still thinking about the E in the bass. So you've got the minor 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, dominant 7th of E, and then the 11th. So I'm calling it an E minor 11. And what we're doing here, playing it 5 times, like that. But it's slightly more complicated if you want to play it like it is on the record. What he's doing is he's sliding in from C sharp to the D, so from the 6th, major 6th, to the D. Just a very quick kind of grace note slide in, and a scratch at the end. He's also kind of hinting of the 5th before he gets there. So he's hinting of this before you get there. You can only really hear this if you slow it down, which is always a good thing to do when you're learning this stuff. It's the second half of that bar. So put it together. Sounds a bit strange slow, but when you speed it up, you get that kind of, it's almost like a legato feel to it. But it's not easy to do. If you're struggling with that, a lot of the transcriptions I've seen don't have that in. First I thought the whole thing was sliding in, but all I can hear is that C sharp sliding in. If you're struggling with that, just play the chord as it is. Like that, and it's fine. Second bar after that riff goes 7th fret in your G string to the 5th fret in your D string. Nice and clipped. And then we go like that. So I'm thinking of this as being like an A minor 7. Starting off D, G and B strings. You've got the 7th again up here in your 8th fret. And then on the next upstroke you drop your 4th finger to the 3rd finger on the 7th fret. Hit the top 3 strings and then finish with just hitting the 5th fret on your B string. But all the notes are kind of ringing out like that, which is not easy to do. We're so used to kind of muting everything. It's quite unusual to hear it ringing through, and it takes a bit of getting used to playing it. So if you think of your downstroke, you're hitting those 3 strings, D, G and B. Upstroke, you're changing down to your 7th fret on your B and hitting the top 3 strings, but leave this ringing through. And then just your B string on the next upstroke. That chord there is held for 2 16th notes. Like that. Again, it takes a bit of getting used to. It can seem like quite an easy 2-bar phrase, but some awkward little bits in it to make it sound good. So we go like that, and then it just keeps repeating. Bit like that. It's kind of almost got a swung feel to it, 16th swing notes, which we talked about in previous videos. So it's not always the 16th notes, aren't always a strict 1 eander, 2 eander, it's 1 eander, 2 eander, that kind of feel. But it sounds really good. So that keeps going through. There's another guitar playing kind of like a bass line, if you listen to my recording of it or the original, going. All that's doing, I haven't tabbed it out, it's just the bottom of A string, C sharp and D on your A string. What I've also added in my recording, if you want to learn that, is again just E minor pentatonic. Those 3 notes, I use an envelope filter, Corey's envelope filter from his plugin. It's kind of mimicking the vocals that are going on in the song, which I won't try and sing. So the various parts, and the other part of the song is an E dominant 7 with a sharp 9. Chord. Again, I haven't tabbed this out, but there's just part of it you can hear in the original song, and he's just playing 16th notes on that. So if you want to play the whole song, put that in there too. Okay, that's pretty much it. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a lot of fun with some funky stuff. Hope this has been useful. I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you.